there, I'm going to do a little review of this Patons Cobbles yarn. When I looked at it on the website, I didn't know that it was going to be so big. It's awesome. I like how big it is. You can buy this yarn on the Yarnspirations website, www.yarnspirations.com. Patons Cobbles is a very lightweight yarn. It's not heavy at all. It's real fluffy and soft. It's not silky soft. It's fluffy soft. It is a super bulky yarn. It calls for a size 15 knitting needle, so pretty big, 10 millimeter size 15 knitting needle, or a size P 11.5 millimeter crochet hook. It also says size N crochet hook, size N -P, so I guess you could also use a size 10 millimeter N crochet hook. So maybe this P hook I have is a different kind of P. I don't know, but it's 11.5 millimeter. But I've got a size N hook over there. I'll try it later with the yarn. Anyway, it is a hand wash yarn, lay flat to dry, and no ironing, of course, because it's a big fluffy yarn. It wouldn't be ironable anyway. The color I have is Winter White. It is 49% wool, 49% acrylic, 2% polyester. And each skein has 100 grams, or 3.5 ounces. And it is 37 meters, or 41 yards. And 1 ball is enough to make a hat. 4 balls is enough to make a scarf. I don't see a pattern on here, and well, let me see. Let me look inside. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to pull this thing open so I can look inside and see if there's a pattern. No, there is no pattern. Okay. So now I'm going to tape my label back on. There. Keep that together so I don't lose my label. Alright, so now I want to try it and see what it's like. So I'm going to get this one that I haven't done anything with yet. I'm going to see if I can find the end. So I don't see anything stuck in from the outside like you sometimes see. Or maybe there, that's the one that's stuck in from the outside. So we'll pull it out and you can look at the end of it, and it's just a lot of fluffy yarn. It does, pardon me, it does have a thread to help hold it together. So I think that thread is what gives it that puffy look. Occasionally it draws it in. So this puff stuff is just straight. It's not twisted at all. And the thread is what draws it, pulls it together, holds it together. So maybe that thread is the 2% polyester that they're talking about. So this must all be wool and acrylic on the outside. So that looks like that's how it's made. Now, pardon me, I got over bronchitis last week, but I haven't been sick this week, but apparently I still have a little bit of a cough left over. Let me get a little sip of water here. Maybe that'll help. Alright, let's see if I can find the center to pull out. Feels like that's a loose section there. Very good. We got it coming out. So it's very light and fluffy. I don't really know what to compare this to. I guess you could compare it to a cotton ball. That's how fluffy and light it feels. Feels like a bunch of cotton balls. Let's see how it knits first. I use these size 15 knitting needles. It does feel soft as you work with it, since it's wool acrylic blend. It has a good body, holds together well. There. I'm going to pull that out of the way. Ooh, it's easy to knit with. It just flows. It flows very well. I didn't think it would work this easily, but it just really does feel good. I'm using bamboo needles right now, and it flows very nicely. It's very easy to work with. I think this would be fun to make a project with. Now I'm going to work a row of pearls and see how that feels. Still works well. And those of you who do continental knitting can play around with it and see how you like it. I did split a stitch right there, pretty, because this being a just fibers going straight, it would be easy to split like I just did. It's almost like a roving, I guess you'd say. Those fibers that are straight. So that's why it would be easy to split, especially doing a purl stitch. It just still went well. Now I'm going to unravel that and see. Well, let me do a couple more rows so you can see what the fabric looks like. Because I have a feeling this is going to unravel very easily. This reminds me of the Bernat roving or the Patons roving yarn, either one. I guess it would be like a blend of the two of those, since the Bernat roving is acrylic and the Patons roving is wool. So this is like a cross between the two. But the difference is the little clouds, the little puffs that it makes because of that thread running through it. I'm going to do one more row of pearls here. This yarn feels very different from the way I expected it to. It doesn't feel the same on the needles as it did in the skein. Just feeling a single strand and working with it feels very soft and very cushy, and not quite as fluffy as it did in the skein. It feels more solid, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean if you work with it. There. Now that's just enough to be able to see the fabric it makes. Yeah, I think that'd make it like a nice jacket or vest or a real thick sweater. It'd be nice to make a just a straight sweater all in stockinette. Maybe a mock turtleneck at the top. That would be nice. It would be good for making a scarf. Make a really nice scarf in stockinette. Let me see how it looks in Garter Stitch, because I want to know. Well, that stitch just wants to split, doesn't it? There we go. It's the only thing to watch out for with roving style yarns. The stitches do want to try to split. So now I'm knitting every row so I can see what Garter Stitch will look like. And knitting with this yarn is easy peasy. It flows very nicely. But you do have to make sure you're getting behind and in front of the right spot of the yarn so you don't split it. I think I'm going to like the look of this. and garter stitch. Let's do a couple more rows. Knit. I went today and got a manicure and pedicure. So I have orange fingernails. I'm going on a trip this weekend, so I wanted to get my nails fixed up a little bit. I'll be going to a handbill workshop. I'm the handbill director at my church, so I want to be a little bit more trained on what we can do when we play handbills. Ding dong, ding dong. There we go. I'm looking forward to seeing Charleston. I went to Charleston once, but it was a long time ago, so I just vaguely remember it. There. Now you can see how stockinette looks and how I think I like it better stockinette. I think it looks better in stockinette. When it's in garter stitch, it just looks real puffy. Just a whole bunch of puffy stuff. But in stockinette, it almost gives it a thick and thin look. Kind of an interesting. I like the look of that a whole lot better. So that's probably what I would do, is I would stick with stockinette if I were to make a project with this. And it unravels easily like I thought it would. Now the whole time I was working on that, I was using bamboo needles. So I want to knit a couple rows with metal needles, just out of curiosity. See how it works with those. It actually works faster with this. This is a sharp pointed metal needle. And so maybe it's good because I'm able to keep from splitting with this. Yeah, it does work. For me, it works faster with these metal needles because they're so pointy and they can go in between the fibers pretty easily. So that's probably what I would prefer to use, is metal needles. Yeah, even purling is easier with this, with these pointy metal needles. These are, I think these are vintage. Let me finish this row and I'll show you what these needles are. Because they're very smooth. Smooth, man, smooth. See, that went well. I didn't split a single stitch using these pointy metal needles. These are Susan Bates old needles. Metal. I think they called these Whisper Smooth or something like that. So now we know that it actually, for me, it works better using metal needles than using the bamboo. And those bamboo needles had a rounded tip. And the metal was a lot thinner, pointier. Now, I want to see how it crochets. First I'm going to try this P hook, which I think is too big, now that I saw that 10mm thing on there. But the P hook does crochet well with it. I'm going to go back and do some single crochets with it. Very easy. It crochets very well. It just flows. It feels like I'm crocheting with a cloud. I don't know why they call it Patons Cobbles, but I'm sure there's a reason why they gave it that name, but I will never know. Alright, so we pull that. Let's go back the other way. Because I want to see how it looks, see if I like to look up the single crochet fabric or not. It's not hard to work these stitches at all. It looks like I'm pulling hard, but I'm really not. I'm just in a hurry. It's just working right through. It's like butter, man. It's like butter. Boop. There. So now you can see what the single crochet fabric looks like. I'm going to do a half double crochet. See how that looks. No, let's do a double crochet. I don't think I'd like the look of a half double crochet here. Let's do a double. There. Let me see. Singles down here and a double up top. It looks pretty good. And that's with a P hook. So I need to try it with an N hook, which is what they recommend. Let me look over here for my N hook. My jelly jar full of hooks. That's an M. That's an M. Hey, how the heck did I get two M's? That's an E. That's completely wrong. There's an L. I thought I had an N in here. Hey, maybe it's one of these. M. 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 That's just wrong. I don't have an N hook. Oh well, at least now I know I need an N hook. So you saw how it worked with an L hook. I mean with a P hook. So I'll make another, I'll try it later with an N hook and I'll let you know if it's any different. So anyway, at least now you know a little bit about how Patons Cobbles yarn works. It's fluffy and fun and easy to work with, and it makes a nice fabric. So there you go. Have fun. Bye.